Hello, my name's Suzanne. Regular viewers to the channel know that I garden and grow cut flowers in Devon in the UK. I've been a little bit absent on the filming lately because I've been making lots of dried flower products for sale at local markets. So this video that I'm about to show now was actually filmed in October, and I was making flower arrangements for a party which was on the 21st of October, and that follows now. I hope you enjoy the video.
Okay, so I'm going to be making 16 table centres. I'm going to be using small jars with just a little detail on the top, which is a product called Twool, which is a twine made with wool. And the reason I'm using that is because it has sentimental value to the family that are having a party, so that's a little touch. So I'm using small jars because these are for the tables, so if you think the arrangement's going to be twice the size of the jar, you'll still be able to see over that if you're sat down, so you won't have flowers in front of each other's faces. So we've got 16 of those all here ready to go. They're not all exactly the same, but they are all small, squat, fat jars. I've got a lot of things behind me from my own garden. You can see dahlias back there, but I have got these hydrangea heads that have started to dry from a friend of mine, so thank you, Joyce, for those. And then I have ordered 3 different items from Clowants in Cornwall. So I've ordered some Veronica in white, some Nerines in 2 different pinks, the light pink and the cerise pink, and then I've also ordered some paper whites, but I'm not going to add the paper whites today. I'm going to add the paper whites either tomorrow evening or Saturday morning, and that's because the sap is a bit like banana peels that make your other fruit go over. The sap can make your other flowers go over, so as long as I put it in, as close to the event, which is on today's Thursday, the event's on Saturday, then they'll be fine. So that they're conditioning over here separately, but aren't they lovely? So they will be added as well. So ingredient wise, the Veronica, the Nerines, some of this lovely aster, a piece of euphorbia in each one. Be careful, I'm going to get all the sap on my hands now. I've still got some of my phlox, that's the last of my phlox, and to tie it in with some large arrangements that I've already done, I've got some spindle tree, and I've got a piece of paper actually to check that I put everything in. Euphorbia, hydrangea, Nerines, Veronicas, paper whites, dahlias, phlox, aster, spindle. That's everything. I have got a few extra things. I've got a few bits of achillea, although I don't have 16 pieces, and I've got a few scabious, and again I don't have 16 of those, so I think I'll probably some of them will have a scabious and some of them will have an achillea, something like that. Okay, let's get started. 16 to go. Okay, we'll have a yellow and an orange in this one. So I've just got some spindle leaves here. They're a bit rough and beaten up, but when I add the flowers, hopefully you won't notice how rough and beaten they are. So I'm just really adding those because they can start to hold the flowers in place. And then I'm going to add my euphorbia. Just be careful with euphorbia. I've already stripped the leaves on this, but when you strip the leaves you need to wear a glove really, because you don't want to get the sap on your skin. You definitely don't want to get it into your eyes. So it's really, really important to be really extra careful when you're using euphorbia. So I'm trying to make sure the flowers no taller than twice the height of the vase, and I'm just doing that by eye because I want a little bit of length on them, because can you see I'm sort of making this a low wide arrangement, by putting things out at an angle. I'm going to try and put my hydrangea right in the middle. And I really want to get some of these spindle berries in. Because I've only got 2 Veronicas for each one, I really don't want them to look like ears. I'm going to put them together as if they were growing in the garden. And I'm going to do the same with the aster. Although I don't want the aster to look like ears either, really, because the aster could also be ears to the Veronica. So maybe I'll make the aster lower and wider. Short piece. Things I've got plenty of are the spindle foliage and the aster, so I can definitely use lots of those. And then I'm tempted to add some bracken because I've got bracken in the other arrangement, and then I'll be able to put the 2 paper whites in this to fill in gaps. So I just thought I'd stop a minute because I've made 5. So here they are, and I just thought I'd put them with the larger arrangements so you can sort of see the feel that we're going for. So I've just got to make another 11. Okay, it's Friday evening. I've got everything ready, so I'm going to add the paper whites in the morning because of the sap. I don't want the flowers to go over too quickly. Well, 2 large arrangements there, and I've got some flowers that I can add as well. I've got a bit of Veronica which I'll add to the large arrangements. So we'll pop that in my pudging bucket. I've got the aster and I've got some phlox. And I'll see if I've got a few spare dahlias, but what I might do is actually cut those fresh in the morning, because the ones I've got in the shed here I cut on Wednesday because I was just worried about the weather, about the wind and the rain, so they're already quite old. So I think in the morning I'd rather go out and see if I can cut a fresh bucket that I can take with me for pudging. So I'm just sort of getting organised for what I've got to do in the morning. But it's getting dark now, so I'm going to go and do the animals and come back to this with a fresh look in the morning. Good morning, everybody. It is the 21st of October today, and it is the day of an event that I'm doing the flowers for. I've put all the arrangements together, 2 large table arrangements and 16 smaller table arrangements, and now I'm going to add the paper white narcissus, and I'm just going to have a look and check them, because the dahlias that I had initially added were cut some days ago, and there may just be a few that just need replacing. And I'll do that with all the flowers. I'll just take a look, and if there's something that just looks like it's gone over a little bit too much, I will replace it. I will also take some spare buckets of flowers with me in case there's any damage in transit. So anyway, now I'm going to painstakingly look at every arrangement individually and just make sure that I'm happy with them before I load the car up and take them off to the event. Unfortunately, it's raining today. I believe it's a TP. I don't think it's a marquee. I won't really know until I get there, but hopefully I can get the car as close to it as possible, because otherwise it's going to be a bit of a chore to carry everything through the rain. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so I'm just looking at them all the way around. I won't top the vases up now because I'm going to travel them, and any water I put in now is likely to splash everywhere, so I will do that on arrival. So I'm just looking at the quality of the dahlias, making sure they're not browning around the edges, and that they look like they'll last today. They only need to last today, so as long as the flowers look fresh enough to last today, we are happy campers. And then, as I've checked that everything in an arrangement is okay, I will now go on to cut and add the paper whites, and I'm going to add 2 into each of the table arrangements. And I am just going to take off the brown just here where they've opened up. I'm just going to pull those down, the same as I did with the nerines, and then obviously they just look a lot cleaner and prettier. And I want them quite short, and hopefully they're just adding that final little flourish that's been missing. There we are, so that's one with the little paper whites added, and that's really quite sweet now. And what I could do with doing is finding a box, and as I've done each one, putting them in the box, although I will do some photographs, so perhaps that's not such a good idea. So where a flower is not the right quality, I'm not pulling it out of the arrangement because it will destroy the whole arrangement. I'm just cutting the head off. So can you see this scabious is just gone really mouldy and horrible? All I've done, the stem is still in there, but I've just cut the head off, and I will now put a paper white in that gap where that was, just to fill it in. And the reason I'm adding the paper whites now is because the sap of the daffodils and narcissus have it's a chemical in it which is the same, it's also present in banana peels, and for the same reason that you were told not to put your bananas in your fruit bowl with your other fruit because it will make the fruit ripen and go over quicker, the same principle works with your flowers. So if I had to put these paper whites in these arrangements when I first started doing them on Thursday, they would have meant the longevity wouldn't have been so good, which is why I didn't put them in. I'm using toilet rolls for packing in between the jars because they're just, obviously they're a recycled product and they're cardboard there, but also their structure just keeps the jars just apart, away from each other enough. Just going to add an extra piece of phlox into this one. Okay, so here are the 16 table arrangements. I actually had enough paper whites to put 3 in each.